18 to 20 lakh companies, and we have large number of SMEs, MSMEs in the country, several self-employed people. Given this tech stack, leveraging this tech stack, we can build a tech product whereby what is the when we do these professional services, whom are we doing it? We are doing for businesses. In the company structure, the owner is different, management is different, right? You have a shareholders, you have a board, and you have a management. Board has a fiduciary responsibility towards the shareholders. Incidentally, maybe shareholder and board member may be same, but board has a fiduciary responsibility, maintaining the relations with the investors, your private equity guy or a venture capital. Now, if it comes to the listed companies, you are taking money from the public shareholders.
We have been using our product since 8 to 9 months now.
Yeah.
Like, can you give a proper feedback of our product? So, like, we also taken your feedbacks and we'll build out of it.
Yeah. First, there has to be a need, then it has to be have a size and scale, then one has to...
Only for tax evasion you cannot do.
No. Those days have gone. Gift City, which has certain advantage, some tax advantages are there, as if it is a foreign jurisdiction. Instead of setting up in Mauritius, setting up in the US or Dubai, one can do in Gift City. More or less, one will get same kind of benefits.
Yeah, hi. Today we have an professional who is like multi-talented in our show. Welcome to our show, sir. He's a company secretary by profession, but he's handling many large-scale businesses and he's an investor in many companies, and also he's a mentor, which for a startup or a corporate, in whatever way you want, he'll help you in many other ways. Hi, sir. Basically, the main agenda of this podcast is we wanted to increase financial literacy in the country and also educate people, bring awareness about various financial schemes, and not only financial, even some business mentors or some business opportunities which people might not be aware in many places.
Okay.
We just wanted to tell them these are the business opportunities, these are the compliances which you need to follow in a day-to-day life. Like, sure. This is the basic agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. So to start off, like I know you're completely into building your own SimplyBiz products. Like, how do you want to change the professional services through your technology?
Yeah. Say, thank you, Sai, for inviting me and for making me part of this podcast. What we are experiencing today is AI 4.0, industrial revolution and 4.0 is happening, and AI and LLMs are happening. And what has happened is, in India, very uniquely, several countries don't have this kind of an opportunity. We have a India stack and broadband penetration, smartphones is creating a fantastic platform for building a tech-enabled products in the professional services, particularly professional services like accounting, tax, compliance, business legal. There is a lot of requirement to bring the technology. There are, I think, around 18 to 20 lakh companies, and we have large number of SMEs, MSMEs in the country, several self-employed people, right? Given this tech stack, leveraging this tech stack, we can build a tech product whereby what is the when we do these professional services, whom are we doing it? We are doing for businesses. So they should be able to comply easily, follow easily. They have to spend more time on focusing on their core business, how to scale their business, how to create wealth, how to expand. This is the intention of the founders, the management teams. They should not be spending a lot of time on the compliance.
Correct.
It has to be so easy, and they have to spend less amount of time. So I have close to 28 to 29 years of experience. All through my experience, I have been working with the early stage companies, so growth stage companies, so with the tech founders and non-tech founders. I have seen a lot of problems. Today, the context is right? Because we have the India stack. So we wanted to kind of revolutionize the professional services, make this very, very easy. And why, if you see last few years, the whole trend has changed. Either the existing businesses or the new businesses which are coming in. It could be old economy, it could be new economy. What are the founders are a second generation entrepreneurs, second generation family owned businesses. The whole thing is couple of things. One, I want to grow big, I want to create wealth, I want to grow beyond India, acquire businesses and grow globally. This is one category. Second category, I want to build businesses and exit maybe from 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like now, when these things are happening, these corporate transactions are happening, what is important? A buyer or investor, what is he looking for? Is it a fundable company? One, the founder story, the growth story of the company, the financial numbers, top line, bottom line, profitability, all those are important. Besides this, the hygiene also is important. Is the tax compliance right? Is there an IP in this business? Is that protected properly? Is the company taking care of the statutory obligations? These are all very, very hygiene issues. Unless your hygiene is right, funding becomes difficult.
Correct.
Exit becomes difficult. How can we make companies ever diligence ready? Unlike earlier, diligence was, very, very few companies were going through. But today, every company wanted to be diligence ready. For various reasons. Even you want to do a strategic partnership with a large company. They are not investing in you. But they are trying to have a strategic partnership. So when they come in, they want to look at, are these guys right guys? Is the right character? Is the hygiene is clear? Am I associating with somebody who is not a compliant guy?
Okay, understood.
So therefore, diligence ready becomes very important. That is where we wanted to build a tech platform which enables companies ever diligence ready. We are in that process currently. We use kind of a standalone several application like also your application for a workflow management and interacting with several government departments. But slowly, maybe next 6 to 12 months, we want to start our own tech journey where we want to build a layer and make this possible for the founders.
It is also very useful and easy for a founder or like even a big corporate, because they do not know what is being complied, whether it is complied or not. Suddenly, someone shows up telling you this is the late fees or penalty which you need to pay. He doesn't have any idea. Even if he has before idea what needs to be done or what is lacking, he would have been prepared and doing things.
Correct.
So that is very important for even a big corporate. This is lacking currently. So like we are also involved in this, so that even as we are not directly involving with the customers, but we are trying to provide this tech-enabled platform for company secretaries or CS like you.
Correct.
So like it's actually solving the problem. Going forward, like since India is a very big country with massive laws, you need a founder do not know all the laws which needs to be complied with.
Correct.
So if he's having idea, at least he will make sure that his respective professional will do it.
Correct. Now, as a professionals, we have to ensure that the founders need not spend too much of time, but they only have to give an importance that somebody who knows this subject has to manage that.
Correct.
That is how we should take care of their interest.
Correct. So like these days, these kind of business opportunities are very much huge for CAs and the company secretaries, where they should capture these kind of opportunities. Like instead of focusing much on whatever the practice generally they do, if they are helping founders or companies grow in this manner, actually these professionals will also grow.
Yes.
And coming to a profession, so like I am also a company secretary by profession, but I'm majorly into CA and this kind of services. But how do you deal? Like how exactly you tell like what exactly is the role of company secretary in the country and why exactly company secretary should grow? Because like generally as a profession, CA also it's decreasing nowadays. Company secretary is also decreasing. Most of the people do not know what exactly company secretary is and why should a country need a company secretary?
It's a good question. Company secretary is considered as a governance professional. Right now, every business is governed by several laws: tax laws, statutory laws, corporate governance, listing, foreign collaboration, foreign direct investment. These are all the several regulations a company has to go through. Now, what has happened post 1991? We have moved into the liberalization of economy, where capital flows could come in. Right? What happened thereby? You started getting institutional capital, private equity, venture capital funds, alternative investment funds, sovereign funds, right? What is the company structure? In the company structure, the owner is different, management is different, right? You have a shareholders, you have a board, and you have a management. Board has a fiduciary responsibility towards the shareholders. Incidentally, maybe shareholder and board member may be same, but board has a fiduciary responsibility because they are dealing with the others' money.
Correct.
Others' money, it could be company has gone into public issue, raised money, or they have gone for a private equity, have raised money, or they have gone to the banks and they would have raised money. If they are raising money from a bank, where is that money coming from? From the deposit holders. Bank has a responsibility to the deposit holders. Similarly, so company has a responsibility to several stakeholders. That is where this compliance professional, governance professional importance comes. You have a managing director who is responsible for strategy. How do I grow my business? Right? You have a chief financial officer. His job is to see that, the accounting, tax, treasury, financial operations are taken care. You may have an operations guy who ensures that operations of the company, business operation, means your core business, your services or goods are produced, delivered, and given a customer delight. The other very important pillar is the governance professional, which is company secretary. See that this company complies with every law that is applicable. Your employment related laws, your PF, ESI, right? Statutory obligations are taken care. The bigger the company and the listed company, the responsibilities are more. Somebody has to consciously take care of this. That is where this importance has come, which is growing significantly. The reasons are, as I said, the institutional capital coming, public issues which is happening. You have in the public issues, you have main board and you have the SME board, right? India is going through a very, very important journey, right? We are getting to next orbit. We are today we are at 3.724 trillion economy. We are talking about 35 trillion by 2047. We are talking about a 10 trillion maybe by 2030 or 2032. The growth is going to be 15-20%, not from a GDP, but several sectors are going to grow that way, right? Correct. Thereby, that is where the importance of company secretary. Company secretary role also has grown manyfold. Actually, I started as a company secretary student in 1992, and I completed in 95 December. Since 96, I've been practicing. Those days, nobody knew what is company secretary.
Correct.
Even today, a lot of people don't know. But as a profession, it has earned its recognition. Not there is a statutory requirement that every company with more than 10 crores capital requires a full-time company secretary. Beyond that, industry needs, government needs. Therefore, this profession has got lot of recognition, lot of opportunities, lot of responsibility.
And respect also.
Respect also. Yes.
And typically, what exactly is the job responsibility or difference between a company secretary who's into practice and who's into a job and an industry?
Yeah, I think in the industry, it is very, very clearly laid down. As I said, his responsibilities, compliance professional, governance professional. He has, broadly 3-4 categories. Managing the board management, conducting the board meetings, all of that. Shareholder management and investor relations. Somebody is putting money, the allocation of shares, ensuring that the shares are given to the shareholders. Investor relation, shareholder meetings, shareholders' rights, protecting the shareholders' rights, directors' rights is the job of the company secretary, right? And then now increasingly you have the institutional capital. Either you have a public shareholders or a private shareholder. Private shareholders means you have funds who are investing in.
Correct.
Now, complying with your shareholders agreement, maintaining the relations with the investors, your private equity guy or a venture capital. Now, if it comes to the listed companies, you are taking money from the public shareholders, and there is a lot more responsibility there. Company cannot misuse that money. Returns have to be delivered to the shareholders, right? And shareholders' rights have to be protected. And in the listed companies, there is also a concept called, companies have access to the unpublished price-sensitive information. You are a senior management, your CEO is taking a lot of decision, board is taking a lot of decision. CFO is taking lot of decisions. So between the key management person and the outside shareholders, there is a information gap. Key management has lot of unpublished information access, but the public shareholders do not have. Now this has to be managed properly. Just because you are part of the management, by using that information, you cannot get benefited.
Correct.
This information has to be passed on to the even public shareholders. There are disclosure guidelines, ensuring that those disclosures are done right time, and there is a trading window closure. The key management personnel should not deal in their shares during the period of publication of results, dividend kind of decision, bonus kind of a decision. So this is the role of a company secretary in employment. Besides this corporate function, sometimes they take care of legal function, they take care of IPR. They now some of the company secretaries are managing global companies. If you see, a lot of MNCs have Indian headquarters for the region. Asia region, it is operated from Hyderabad or India. Some companies have Singapore as the region, but company secretaries from India, they are managing multiple geographies, corporate secretarial functions. We have adopted the common law, from the UK. All common law countries have follow same thing. When our Indian companies are either Indian companies or MNCs have a multiple geographies, right? They have companies in maybe Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, maybe Japan. So now these people are taking responsibility for a group company secretary, managing the compliance function, corporate secretarial function of all these companies. That is the role of the company secretary in employment. Now, company secretary in practice, it came, I think, the last 40 years, this practicing side of a profession came, but last 20 years, it has evolved into a lot more. Say, there is one role which is a regulatory driven. Under the Companies Act, under the listing regulations, it says these are the things which have to be done by a company secretary in practice. Like an example of secretarial audit. Listed companies, large companies, the secretarial audit has to be done by the company secretary in practice. What the secretarial audit means? Secretarial audit means the shareholder compliance are done properly, board meetings are done properly, related party disclosures have done properly, the disclosures to the stock exchange have been done properly. All material events, material compliances with reference to the Companies Act, foreign exchange regulations, and the listing compliances, labor law compliance, an independent professional auditing and giving a certificate. This is one of the very, very important functions. Besides that, there are several other attestation functions which require a certification from the company secretary in practice. But besides that, now given the knowledge and experience and exposure the company secretary has, company secretary is dealing with the listed companies, dealing with the stock exchanges, dealing with the SEBI. So he has become expert in advising how to go for a public issue.
Correct.
Either main board or the SME. Similarly, lot of the funding transactions. A decision is taken, but that needs to be implemented. There is a due diligence process. The company secretary, practicing company secretary can advise. The shareholder agreement, M&A, mergers and amalgamation. So, foreign direct investment. And companies, Indian companies want to set up companies outside India. All these areas, the practicing company secretaries got knowledge. They are able to advise. Now, we have become experts in these areas. Public issues, M&A, fundraising, the compliance required for it, structuring required for it. That is how the profession has evolved. So people are doing extremely well and adding a lot of value to the companies and founders in their journey.
So actually, huge more, like even I do not know these many are the compliances which needs to be followed. Like even there are certain important things which people should know. Like people will think as he's an CFO or he's a managing director, he knows all the insider information, he will earn out of it.
Right.
But it's different because there is someone who is governing it. Because this is very important, because many people will feel like he is a managing director, his company is listed, people will know like this share might increase or share might decrease, because he already know the annual results and they will feel he's already benefited out of it. But the situation is different because Indian government has already put some certain restrictions which need to be followed.
Correct.
So that is the main, we as a professional know these things, but people do not know generally.
Correct.
And then coming towards like your ideation of businesses, like you majorly deal with capital markets, or how do people should get funds from USA or other country to India, or how should that, for example, I have an business here, I have certain amount of money, I just wanted to put an offshore fund or any specific fund or family office in other country, like what typical compliances that person should follow?
I mean, so this is a little complex subject. Now, everywhere the tax laws are important. When the capital is moving from one country to other country, every country want to tax profits. Wherever profits are generated, that country want to tax on those profits. Now, there are double taxation treaties, right? There are some are tax-free zones. So the consideration has to be, where do you want to invest money? You may want to set up funds, a particular overseas jurisdiction. Let us assume US, right? Now, where do you want to invest that money? The funds which have raised. Are you planning to invest in the US, or do you want to invest in multiple geographies? That is very, very important consideration. Second, who are your investors who are going to put money in the fund? It is a one family office which is sponsoring, or there are multiple investors? Where are the investors are going to come? Either from the US, India? What is the tax residency of those investors? Right? So these are the consideration. Tax plays very, very important. Where do you raise money? Where will you deploy? What is the tax regime? And how do you get the registration? These are all the funds are regulated by a securities regulator of that country. So these are the things which have to be considered, before starting a fund.
It's a very structured way, and you need to comply with all the country
Yes,
laws,
yes,
and
yes,
then
yes.
it is not a very easy task.
It is not a very easy task, and first there has to be a need, then it has to have a size and scale, then one has to
Only for tax evasion you cannot do.
No. Those days have gone. But Indian government has started this gift city in Gujarat, which is more than 10-year old, but last 2-3 years it has become very active. So Indian family offices, Indian funds, one can also set up fund in the gift city, which has certain advantage, some tax advantages are there, as if it is a foreign jurisdiction.
Okay.
Instead of setting up in Mauritius, setting up in the US or Dubai, one can do in gift city. More or less, one will get same kind of benefits.
How it is different from SEZ?
Now, SEZ is for the manufacturing of goods. Manufacturing of goods exclusively for exports is SEZ. This is for financial services and funds.
So is it very hard to set up a business there, or?
No. There are some service providers. Government also is trying to, give a lot of incentives, lot of information is available. That suitability is important. What you want to do is that scheme, that scheme is offering that kind of a feature. Then once you are aligned, then it becomes easy.
And coming towards your, I just read about your biography or something. You also do some kind of non-profit organizations. You help some organizations. Like how an entrepreneur should do those kind of services, how it is generally helping the society, and how it will help him, like as per your knowledge.
I've been fortunate to get associated with a couple of NGOs in my career. There is one organization called Abhaya Foundation, which was started in 2006 or 2007. This coming Monday, we are celebrating 18th anniversary. I have been one of the founding trustee and then the president and all that. We work on the youth empowerment and women and youth empowerment and skill development and all that. The important thing is everybody, small or big, irrespective of the financial position, we should start giving back to the society. We should start making that small impact in our own extended circle. This is, and the NGOs you support are this thing. But besides this, if you see current generation of startups, how startup can solve a bigger problem for the society, which can change. Traditionally, what we kind of differentiated, not for profit is different or for profit is different. In the not for profit activities, you cannot make money. But there is a slightly different thinking which came in. You call it as a conscious capitalism, or you talk about impact investing. What does it mean? Certain, see, I mean, for profit business, you want to make huge money, tons of money. I want to have 30% profit, 40% profit, all of that. But when you do certain activities which will impact, large society, you may not make so much of money. Your margin could be 8%, 10%, 12%, 15%. Thereby, lot of founders are not going into that activity. But with the impact investing, social investing, it is a for profit investment, but the investors are looking for a very, very moderate returns. If I get 8% return on my equity, 12% return, I am happy, because you are helping society. Or the education, or a healthcare, last mile collectivity, or the skills which are impacting the society in big way. Therefore, we are willing to take a small return. So there are people who have started funds around the social investing. This is a good sign. A lot of investor, if you take microfinance or some of the edutech companies, they are able to take money from the or organic farming, organic retail, or somebody is giving loans to small shopkeepers, small education institutions in tier 2, tier 3. They require 5 lakhs loan, 10 lakhs loan, 20 lakhs loan. They serve the, I mean, poor students, all of that. Now, loans are available. People are doing for profit business, but the moderate returns. There are investors who are trying to back them because there is a societal impact. So I think this also can grow lot more. It is already growing, but it can grow lot more. This is very important.
How can you link to exactly tell people like what exactly is corporate social responsibility, and like some people might think like if they are giving back to the society in this manner, but it is other way around sometimes, like they only for the compliance as some people do, or why like they should do it because it is needed for the society, because if you are growing as a company, you are getting so much from the society. In that sense, you need to give it back to society, some karma concept or something. But how can you link this exactly with this CSR?
As you said, I mean, all of us, and particularly the companies, the legal entities, we take so many resources from the nature and the society around us, right? While your objective is, obviously you have to make profits, give returns to the equity shareholders, your debt shareholders, employees, and all of that. But somewhere, maybe this social obligation is missing, which should have been a fundamental. Whatever I do rightfully. I comply with all the laws and see that social fabric is right. I pay minimum wages. I take care of all the employment laws. And you see that environment is not polluted. There should not have been any compromise on it. But somewhere, some corporates started compromising. Profit is ultimate motive. Trying to bypass several laws, not taking care of the environment and social infrastructure and all that. That's where the government has mandated corporate social responsibility. It should have been done voluntarily, because we have not done voluntarily. Government had to mandate 2% of profit should be spent by all the corporates who are earning profits on the this social responsibility, various schemes. That's a very good movement. It has picked up big time, and I think maybe 30,000-40,000 crores are going as CSR funds. I think it has helped in big way. That's a good sign.
Then coming to these days, very elite people are telling work-life balance, 90 hours, 80 hours, something like them, these kind of words. So as per our understanding, it should be like if an employer is mandatingly tells you like you need to work this many number of hours, then people will not work voluntarily. They will start telling like I'll not work or I'll leave the company, that kind of ideology. So like how do you suggest current employees how they have to work, and like how should they do their professional development apart from not only working in their organization?
This work-life balance, I'm also a little puzzled, the way I look at work-life balance is, there are multiple buckets. One, your career, your profession, your employment. Second, your family. and maybe your hobbies and all of that. All these have to be balanced. Definitely all of them are important. Your personal life is important, family life is important, your professional life is important. But it is not mechanical quantitative numbers. I think I also don't agree with the quantity, that one has to work on X amount of number of hours. But obviously, organization requires a little bit of a discipline. Thereby, you will have some mandatory hours. But more importantly, is the uh, do what you like what you do. This is what is important. Whatever you do with your heart and soul in that. Give your best. Take the ownership. Take that accountability. Deliver outcome. Deliver impact. That is what matters. That is what has to be promoted. Do what you like what you do. I think will solve the problem. Then the wall between personal and family life can be little blur. Once you like it, you don't get stressed. Whole problem is, if you are getting stressed, is the problem. Sometimes I may work 12 hours a day, but I enjoy. It's my passion.
Correct.
Therefore, there's no problem. That root cause has to be analyzed. If somebody is under stress, why is under stress? That is important. This is how I look at it, work-life balance.
So like coming to this Gen Z world, people are like, some people are tired, some people are lazy, some people are extra anxious of doing things in a very fast manner. Some people think like this is the right way of doing things because they know it in that manner only. So like, what would be your general advice to the Gen Z people who are like, this kind of generation is like very different from last 2-3 generations of people. Like if they wanted to grow as an entrepreneur, if they wanted to grow as a co-founder to a certain company, how exactly their mindset should be?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The mindset has to be growth mindset. Mindset has to be growth mindset. I mean, fortunately, last 10 years things have changed big time. Whole environment has changed. For you, either you take any undergrad, colleges, either traditional undergrad programs or programs like engineering, management, medicine. Everywhere there are a lot of opportunities, lot of learning opportunities are available. Your own Atal incubation centers, right? Accelerator, incubators in the several engineering colleges and management programs are giving that exposure. Some are very fortunate and able to get that awareness and make use and grow. But a lot of people don't have that awareness. We need to create more awareness. But more importantly, what I wanted to tell is that individual, he has to pay more attention. Early in the career, maybe first 5 to 10 years, it is important that that individual is building solid foundation for his 20, 30 years of career, professional journey. He can become an entrepreneur, he can become a co-founder, but within organization he can grow, or within that profession he can grow, start as a maybe software engineer. How can he become a product manager? How can he become a CTO? I generally have a little bit of a formula around it. This is what I keep telling. 85% of your time has to go on your JD, your job description. 10% of your time you need to allocate skills, for you to upgrade to get into next orbit. How do I become a senior software engineer? How do I become from a finance manager to a CFO? How do I become a group company secretary? What you do currently will not take you there unless you put this, incremental effort. Parallelly, you have to work on it. Each one will have his own requirement. Somebody could be it is a communication skill. Somebody it could be a particular certification. For somebody it could be learning some new language. One has to think what are those skills relevant for them to bring that growth. Your employer may suggest you, may not suggest you, but you have to have your own parallel roadmap for your growth. I also strongly recommend having a mentor. Mentor could be your elder brother, your cousin, a co-founder in some other company, could be from your profession or some other profession, little senior, little matured, who can understand you, who can listen to you. He may give you a couple of suggestions. It can be quarterly, 30 minutes. It can change you. So what I was telling, I mean, the earlier formula of 85% work on your core job description, 10% you work on skills which will make you get into next orbit, another 5% get a big picture. Big picture also is important. Big picture in terms of technology, in terms of economy, in terms of politics, in terms of LLM, in terms of AI, global trends, all this also important for us to stay relevant in different conversations, for us to get a big picture. This is how I kind of, my own formula for, people to grow.
Interesting. So like they're understanding the macro environment, the micro whatever is being done in their organization, and like how should they upgrade themselves. So like this is a very good study. There are many studies which is evolving around this. So people should understand the need, and basically they have to implement in the day-to-day life is the main important challenge.
Yes. Now today there are several opportunities. Earlier it was difficult, but today everything is on the platter.
Correct. So like these days, what is completely changed is like maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago, only if you know English, you can grow. But these days, language is not a barrier, technology is not a barrier, money is not a barrier. Like you as a person has everything in you. Only thing is you have to get good opportunities and you have to hit the right people at right time through right things.
Absolutely.
Then obviously, any point of time, if you are doing good hard work or smart work, you will grow at no matter what happens in your life.
Absolutely. Technology, gave that level playing field. That is the beauty today.
So like you have invested in quite number of companies. As an investor, what is your general mindset? How you will look at the founder story, or if you look at the numbers, or you look at the idea of innovation, what is your take on investing in companies?
Yeah, so particularly the early stage and growth stage companies, I see, two important things. I give highest weightage to the founder. Founder are a founding team. I must say maybe 60-70% weightage is given to the founder. At that stage, that is very, 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 very important. Founder ability to understand the current business he is doing, ability to change, pivot, ability to hire people, get the customers. Lot of perseverance is required. Razor sharp focus is required. Whether this founder has that kind of a capability, this team has that kind of a capability is very, very important. One. Second, at a broad level, macro level, the idea they are pursuing, that market opportunity that business has, is it a capital intensive or a lean model? What is the potential? At a high level, macro level, we don't need to get it there, right? So somebody is telling I'm getting into AI, I'm getting into space, understanding little bit of the current market structure, competition, potential growth, and then I do invest. But my bets are mostly on the founder, and my investments broadly two categories. One category is founders whom I know very well, or we have a professional relation. I've been an advisor or a consultant to them, and I know them very well. Thereby, that gives me a lot of confidence, gut feel. That's one category. Second, again, coming from my own network, I have a lot of professional network. My friend knows the founder. He has validated it. So I trust and go. So very, very few which come from random. 80% are from my immediate network or my friends network, trusted professional network. That's how I picked up.
Then like since very good advice to people who like people thinks because they're not having good numbers in their balance sheet or in the profit and loss account, or they are not having like people around you who will trust them. That is more than that, a founder, his character and his way of doing things, which will take him more forward, is more important as per your ideology.
Absolutely. Because we cannot solve all the problems. Founder should be able to solve, identify and solve.
And then like since you are into this global markets and many things, so like can you explain a scenario where a company which is entering to India market or Indian company which is entering to another market, a success story, or like what are the challenges they have faced?
Several companies have been coming to India. Post 91 is a flood, right? If you see Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, some of these markets, so much of technology, so many technology companies have come. Our people went and started doing jobs, and several technology companies have come. Healthcare, life sciences, Hyderabad again, biotech, life sciences, pharma, huge. Hyderabad has these three, four things. One, the technology, healthcare and life sciences, biotech, and the hospitals, and the space and defense,
Space and defense also.
and seeds and agri. Right? These categories have come up very well. Now, when the foreign investors come in, they come in for two, three reasons. One kind of a investor or a company coming to sell goods and services in India. I mean, like take a example of Starbucks. Why are they coming here? Because we have a huge population, 1.5 billion population, and income levels are growing, aspirations are growing. Therefore, they will consume better goods and services.
Correct.
That's a fantastic example. Like that, there are a lot of examples. But there are several small companies, there are several technology companies founded in the US. Entire product development happens here. Entire product gets built here. Now, the global capability centers are, lot of large companies, mid companies from US, Europe, and several markets are coming to India. Why are they coming? They are coming for talent. India has the talent, technical talent pool. We are able to do fantastic job. That's how all these GCCs are coming. Not only in technology, but even other function, even in the finance function, legal function, marketing function. Therefore, all these GCCs are coming. But there are a couple of areas maybe we can do a lot more. When these companies and investors come in, they want ease of doing business. How quickly I can set up my shop, I can go live, I can operate. While successive governments have done decent job in making ease of doing business, it needs to be done lot more. There is a lot of scope, either in the income tax in terms of transfer pricing regulations, or in the Companies Act some of the regulations, foreign exchange regulations, GST, all these areas, there are some smaller bottlenecks. They are not, bigger things, not that reducing tax from 25% to 20%. These are all the day-to-day challenges that needs to be addressed. Government is working on. I also see we are in a little bit of a transition phase. Government is the biggest, Indian government, central government and state governments are adopting technology big time, e-governance. So, we are going through that phase. In that implementation, there are some bottlenecks, but maybe in few years from now, maybe we could be, best in the world in terms of using ease of doing business with a tech enablement.
Like in this similar scenario, like I just read many articles where Indian government is completely changing the technology through blockchain. So like they're implementing blockchain in RBI governance, some kind of MCA governance, which is actually taking the technology into next level, because of which, as you told, it is very easy for business to set up in India, and also for companies like us, like companies for various corporates also, because the compliance is easier. People will start investing, or people will start doing more business around this.
Right.
So like these days, many people are starting companies, and entrepreneurship mundu telekpoina, like these days, like 20 years ago, now this is much different. People are coming as a businessman or entrepreneur, and they're also struggling so much. Being an entrepreneur is not at all an easy task. Like you need to manage many things, but still people are coming because they understood the need. వాళ్ళకు ఒక చిన్న ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది అని అర్థమైంది, దే వాంటెడ్ టు సాల్వ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. బట్ హియర్ ద మేజర్ ఛాలెంజ్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ మనీ కాకపోయినా, ఎంప్లాయీస్ ఆర్ సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ నెట్వర్కింగ్ అరౌండ్ దిస్ పీపుల్. వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇస్, as an ex person, he's very good talented person, he's getting huge amounts of CTC or some good amount of salary from Google, Microsoft, అలాంటి companies, but he's willing to work here, but because of his family pressure, or because he want to see that big amount of chunk of money, he's shifting towards that corporate style and started working there. Like, and based on their financial need or based on their thing, people can decide. But how a general person who is generally ఇప్పుడు graduate అయిపోయింది, he has good amount of opportunities, how exactly he should think of choosing a right company, and whoever is working, how should he work in the company apart from generally seeing like ఈ జాబ్ ఉంటే ఇంక ఈ బెటర్ ఆపర్చునిటీ అంటే రోజు వెతుకుతూ ఉంటే ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఎనీ పర్సన్ క్యాన్ థింక్ ఓవర్ ఇట్ అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐఎమ్ అన్ ఆంటర్ప్రినర్ I can also think yes tomorrow I can be Bill Gates or day after tomorrow I can see Elon Musk, but my ideology is doing is నా కష్టం ఎంతనో like I'll get that much of result, but maybe after 5 years or 10 years I might be something different person. సో ఇప్పుడు అలాంటి ఎంప్లాయీస్ కానీ లైక్ న్యూలీ గ్రాడ్యుయేటెడ్ పీపుల్ కానీ హౌ షుడ్ దర్ మైండ్ సెట్ బీ అరౌండ్ చూసింగ్ ద రైట్ జాబ్?
Yeah, I mean, today there are a lot of influences, social influence, peer group influence, family influence. Uh, I mean, we keep giving this example, right? It doesn't mean that you join a large company, large brand, higher compensation doesn't mean that you get a good exposure. Lot of people figured out this. Smaller company, right? Small team, you have bigger exposure. Bigger the company, your exposure is very small. You are very small guy in the ocean.
Correct.
Neither recognition nor the ability to get more opportunities and grow. But the smaller organization, good organization, there is a learning opportunity, growth opportunity that will give you lot of growth. Growth will come later, either in this company or you go elsewhere, because you have come from a grassroots. You need to understand big picture, several challenges. Sometimes we are getting into super specialty category from day one. See, if you want to become a super specialist in a medical profession, you have to go from a MBBS and then MD, then specialization. You cannot just get into specialization, super specialty. You will not be able to perform that. Only when you have this foundation, you will be able to perform that. Any profession, any professional, how do I get that big picture attitude and holistic, experience and knowledge in all those things? Then I get into then I can take it to a specialty category. I wanted to become a specialist only in IPOs. I cannot from day one start looking at an IPO unless I have a full picture, what all it takes. You need accounting knowledge, you have tax knowledge, you have legal knowledge, you have corporate knowledge, you have business knowledge and all of that. So this is one very, very important thing. It is not the big brand or small brand. Where do I get exposure? Generally, the startups will give excellent exposure because they have limited resources. It is multitasking. Obviously, there are also some amount of pressure to perform. Naturally, you will perform better because there are constraints, resource constraints, talent constraints. So you will do better. So one can look at startup as a good, journey for a solid foundation. That's where growth mindset comes. That's where problem-solving mindset comes. So what the organizations are looking today when they are hiring people, they are looking for an attitude. What kind of attitude this individual has? Does he has a growth attitude? Intrapreneurial and entrepreneurial mindset. He need not be doing entrepreneurship, but does he has an entrepreneurial mindset, which is a growth mindset? I am not stuck by boundaries. I am not stuck by limitations. I want to solve this problem. How do I solve? How do I get the result? How do I acquire this customer? How do I build this product?
Correct.
So where does this come? If you're working with startups, startup founders, small companies, you get an opportunity, you can become better. So this very, very important, that growth mindset, entrepreneurial mindset for a career growth. You may not start on your own, but for you to grow in the career, this is what is very, very important.
And then you have been using our product since 8 to 9 months now.
Yeah.
Can you give a proper feedback of our product?
I mean, we were very happy when we saw your product, and you just launched. Correct. I think you just launched. Maybe we were one of the first paying customers, I think. We also started our journey of this vertical during that time, right? So I think so far it is good, and even our adoption levels also little slow. I had little bit of a challenge in stability in manpower and all. We have a stability in manpower. We started using it. Now we are mandating 100% we will work through this your application. Hopefully, I think next 3 to 6 months we should see lot of benefit. We are very committed and we think this is a right product. While we need to make use and see huge benefit, but we think this is a right product, and we wanted to fully exploit and get the smarter outcomes, productivity and all that.
So like we also taken your feedbacks and we'll build out of it.
Yeah. No, you are very good in taking customer feedback, whatever customer is asking. You are trying to align, maybe in the immediately or over next 3 to 6 months. Because we have to only solve the customer problem, nothing more. If you have an active customer asking something which is reasonable, we must solve. We must see that we offer that.
That is the main agenda of our development team also.
Absolutely.
Like if you are working on a specific work, if it is much important which a customer asks, we'll stop the existing work and plan. But if it is not a general thing, we might postpone it to maybe after 3 to 6 months based on the priority of the work.
That is understandable. Yeah.
Thank you for being in our show, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Yeah,
I'm very happy being part of this podcast.
Thank you, sir.